This is Khalid Iqbal speaking from Dallas, Texas. Since the past few days, especially on the eve of 16th December, every one of us alike has come across either in newspaper or social media the horrific details of East Pakistan debacle, an event of magnitude and volume that no Muslim country had ever previously seen. Seeing all the different perspectives, I also thought I should share my account of this episode, throughout which I was subjected to emotional and physical turmoil. Our camp of 550 kVA transmission line was based in Bogra, East Pakistan. Our Bengali manpower had started giving us suspicious looks, afraid that us Pakistanis clad in white were actually army personnel working under the guise of company employees, working there as engineers for the Imperial Electric Company. I personally had noticed disciplinary unrest prevailing during the morning assembly, which used to be a mandatory practice in camp life. This restlessness began escalating to the level of routine arguments and quarrels at sites among local manpower and West Pakistani supervisory staff. This situation reached an epitome such high that it was decided by our Dhaka head office to pack up our camp in Bogra and return to Dhaka to wait over there for the normalizations of the situation. Our crew, consisting of jeeps, loaders, trucks, and other machines used in stringing of transmission lines, all this convoy left Bogra one fine morning for Dhaka. After 8 straight hours of seemingly uneventful drive, this convoy reached the shore of a big river, I'm forgetting name right now, where we, along with our paraphernalia, were to be ferried to the other end of the river through huge boats and ships. There was heavy traffic on this route, and therefore everyone was to wait for their turn to be transported to the other end of the river. During the wait, all of a sudden, we noticed that the Bengali populations living in that area started encircling us with sticks and bamboos in their hands, shouting loud and bold something that roughly translated in English to, "This convoy is of Pakistani army officers disguised as normal workers. All of these deserve death." Within no time, I noticed these miscreants had started looting our belongings and putting fire to our fleet of jeeps and other vehicles. These local goons came quite close, and them attacking me seemed almost imminent. That's when I started yelling in English things like, "We are not the Pakistan army, but are mere contractor from WAPDA here to erect transmission lines in your areas." Meanwhile, luckily, an MPA of the locals arrived almost simultaneously as everything was happening and engaged the mob leaders and talk. Being literate and using common sense, he gave a furious yet politically and tactfully loud that made it clear to everyone from the mob that their MPA wanted the demise of the convoy. This aligned with their interest. The catch, you might ask. That sane person had the only condition of checking our credentials first. He stated that everyone to be found belonging to the Pakistani army would be handed to the mob to be dealt with in any way that the mob seemed appropriate. Our prayers were answered and our faiths reaffirmed. The loyal associates during this time rescued us from the rage of these goons and pushed us into a nearby building for the aforementioned identity check. Once they became 101% sure that all of us were actually who we said we were, those men of God kept their words and let us go. Rather, in the absence of the transport fleet, which the mob had already burnt, they arranged for us safe transport back to Bogra. Once in Bogra, the nightmare was not yet over. Me and my fellows had to stay in different hotels, from which we were first flown to Dhaka in groups and later finally to Karachi, West Pakistan. It may be argued that this extreme situation was partially our fault, as we formed a large convoy during this time of uncertainty and political unrest. And those who say so would not be wrong. However, the main reason might be something that was all in all unavoidable and might even seem funny to some people. Our convoy consisted of men native to areas like Jhelum, Kohat and Mianwali that had all the primary features present in army officers of that time: tall, broad, moustached and dark-colored. Whatever the situation might have escalated into, one thing is for sure: these people were the ones who were the perfect fit for the job and highly compatible and efficient in camp life. They were the crux of what kept this line of work running. Thank you. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please click the subscribe button so that you keep receiving videos like this every week.